Hello, fabulous person. Beate Chelette here. Today, I want to talk to you about something that you may or may not know that you're doing, and it is being fearful and how to manage that, sometimes that feeling in the pit of your stomach when you are looking what's happening right now and you go, man, what do I do? It's like, am I safe? Are things going to be okay? So I want to talk to you about that. My name is Beate Chelette. I'm the growth architect, and I help visionaries and leaders to grow their authority and scale their impact. Now, what I've been seeing a lot, and I am including myself in this here, is that there is this discrepancy between what you know you need to do, and that is you need to push, you need to move forward, you need to double down. You know, and you've heard this, that in downtimes, that's where people, lay the foundation for making a lot of money, because that's when you are putting it out and nobody else does, you gain market share very quickly. But then there is this other part of you where you're very fearful and you are afraid that if you are pushing so hard right now, that you are spending too much money, you are investing in things that are not going to work. And I mean, we've all really been there, right? So how do you really manage that? So I had an interview yesterday with David Nagel, my mindset coach and mentor, who I interviewed for my podcast, The Business Growth Architect Show. If you don't listen to the show, you should definitely do that. It's called The Business Growth Architect Show. We do a strategy every week. But what we were talking about is this phenomenon called a double binding message. And I'm going to recap this very briefly because I think it's important for you to know what's going on. So double binding message is if you know that you need to be doing something and you're clear and you have the awareness and the consciousness. And on the other hand, there is your old program that runs and you got triggered by fear or something else. And now you are fighting between the old and the new, and they're clashing. When this happens, you are in this crazy push and pull. Somebody once described this as it's like a screaming match in your head. And I think that's a really good way to put it, right? It's like, you need to be doing this. You need to be thinking positive. And the other side goes like, yeah, but what if you make a mistake? You've made a mistake before. No, you got this. No, you cannot do this. And it's like, wah, 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 on both sides in your head. I mean, it's enough to drive anybody crazy. So I don't want you to do that. What I want you to do is to recognize that you are already aware of what needs to be done. So you got to give yourself like a pat on the shoulder, give yourself a little bit of grace, and tell yourself that you got this. Like you really got this. And then when this other thing comes up, right, this negative part comes up, I want you to just pay attention to it in the sense of going like, oh, my fear's showing up. And then just have sort of a little bit of curiosity toward that and say, that's so interesting, curious to figure out where that's coming from, but give it no value. And that is how you overcome some of these crazy challenges that a lot of us are experiencing right now, by feeling this constant push and pull, is to make sure that you focus consciously on what you have control over. And subconsciously, when you get triggered, you put a little bit of light on there, you recognize for what it is, but you give it absolutely no meaning, because your conscious mind, right, the piece that you've been working on is already working on this. I hope this helps you. Reach out if I can answer any questions. And if you like this video, a 5-star review would be super appreciated. And maybe you can share it with one person who you've heard say a lot of negative self-talk stuff lately. And maybe they need to hear this, that they're not alone. Thank you so much for watching. This is Beate Chelette, the Growth Architect, and goodbye.